At the time that Democratic lawmakers introduced the HEROES Law, which calls for a second stimulus payment that is potentially even more generous than the payment distributed under the CARES Law, our country was in a very different situation with regard to concerns the content of COVID-19. In May, when the HEROES Law was implemented, the epidemic was still largely concentrated in the Northeast and the numbers seemed encouraging enough to lift many of the foreclosure measures imposed earlier in the year. However, things seem very different today. As of July 12, there were over 3.2 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the United States, and the problem is no longer limited to the New York-New Jersey region. Florida has 270,000 cases and counts. Texas has similar numbers. And while many states don't make the headlines, most show an increase in cases at a time when the numbers should be going in the opposite direction. All of this is very bad news from a public health perspective. It does, however, work wonders. Will a slight increase in COVID-19 cases lead legislators to approve follow-up stimulus checks because so many Americans are desperate? Although the HEROES Law reached the Senate, Republican lawmakers did not hesitate to oppose it. A big argument against a second stimulus payment, or more generous, as demanded by the HEROES Law, is that, as the economy recovers, more and more jobs are likely to be created, how the need for help will begin to decline. But while this argument may have held up, at least to some extent a month ago, it is hard to say at this time that things are improving. As the epidemic worsens, many states are putting a halt to plans to reopen, while others are reverting to tighter restrictions to protect people's health. It means several things. First, further layoffs may be imminent if businesses are closed and begin to experience income difficulties. Second, job creation is unlikely to occur at a time when there is so much uncertainty. Third, right now it's probably not safe for a lot of people to go back to their old job, so even if those deals are on the table, signing up for, say, working in a restaurant is something that people live in COVID-19 hotspots are less likely to do so. In fact, at some point this year, there was hope that as things improved on the COVID-19 front, our economy would quickly follow suit and emerge from its current recession. But with our country's numbers being what they are today, it's hard to imagine a rapid recovery, especially as more and more hospital systems are overwhelmed and closures can become increasingly no longer needed. As such, it is not unreasonable to think that when lawmakers meet again on a follow-up relief program, which is expected to take place later this month, they will more seriously consider the need for a second stimulus payment, and whatever will be made public sooner rather than later. I don't know about you, but I'm always careful when one of the best growth investors in the world gives me stock advice. Motley Fool co-founder David Gardner and his brother Motley Fool CEO Tom Gardner have just revealed 2 new stock recommendations. Together, they have tripled the performance of the stock market over the past 17 years. And while timing isn't everything, the story of Tom and David's title picks shows that it's worth getting started early on.